All right, fantastic. Welcome, everyone. This is how to get started online. I'm so excited to do this mini clinic for you today. So for those of you who are looking to get started online and aren't exactly sure where to begin because getting started online can be so confusing. So in this little mini clinic today, we're going to talk through the very basic first steps to get started when you want to build an online business. So if that sounds like what you're ready to do and what you're here for, give me the little thumbs up. That also makes sure that the comments are working on my phone here so that I can make sure that I can answer your questions. So if you're watching, hit a little thumbs up or say hi Jenny or something like that, and that way I know you can hear me and see me and we can get started. No? Hello? Can you hear me? I really do want some confirmation. So if you're there and you can hear me, if you could hit hello. Okay, great. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. All right. So you're ready to start an online business, and I've got my notes as always. So if you've ever watched my videos and they're more than just a quickie, I always have notes because I want to make sure that I get you exactly what you need. So you want to get started online, but if you've started, you're probably like, this is so overwhelming. There is so much to do. I don't know where to begin. Like, which experts do I follow? Do I need to start webinars? And you haven't even figured out what your business is yet. So it's overwhelming. It's confusing. There's so much to learn. There's so much to understand. There's so much lingo. There's so much jargon. Does anybody feel this way? Can you relate at all to this idea that it is just, not the idea, but can you relate to these feelings of just getting started, but being totally overwhelmed with so much to do? Yeah? And it's hard because there's so many different classes and experts and opinions and strategies, and so when you try to sort through it, especially if you're new to the online world, it can be crazy making. So my goal today is to sort of cut through that noise and give you 5 simple steps to get started online. That's it. 5 steps to just get started. This isn't going to help you build your multi-million-dollar empire, but it is going to give you those first steps to get going. Okay, so let's dive into those 5 steps. So step number 1, the first thing you want to do if you want to start an online business is think about what kind of business you want to create, okay? So do you want to do bookkeeping? Do you want to be a coach? Do you want to be a nutritionist? Do you want to be a web designer? Do you want to be a copywriter? Whatever it is, what is the business that you want to start? Now, I'll be honest, that is not my strength. I do not know how to tell you what kind of business to start, but there are tons of amazing coaches out there who do know how to do that. So if that's what you're struggling with and you want some help, leave a comment for me below, and I'll pop back in later and give you some recommended resources. There's about 3 people that are our go-to when it comes to figuring out what you want to do, and but yeah, there's many people out there. So first thing, step number 1 is you've got to figure out what kind of online business you want to start. Okay. Step number 2 is you want to figure out what kind of paid offers you want to start with. So once you know, let's say you've decided, yep, I want to be a life coach, or I want to be a bookkeeper, or I want to take my in-person healing business and I want to take it online. I know what I want to do. The second step is to figure out what people are going to pay you for. All right. So you don't have to figure out through the end of time all the things you're going to offer, but you need to figure out what that first paid offer is. Is it life coaching to help people figure out their next career step? Is it bookkeeping for small businesses who don't have time to manage it on their own? Is it long distance Reiki? Whatever it is, you want to figure out what people are paying you for. Okay, now I want to put a couple words of caution here. All right. So when people start out online and they think about what kind of paid offers, they hear a lot of things about how you have to create your signature program, or you need to, charge premium prices, or these are a lot of those buzzwords you're going to hear out that, or I need to make sure that I have the right pricing model, all sorts of these things. And I want to tell you right now, none of those matter at all right now when you're just getting started. They are just going to slow you down. So if you're trying to figure out, all of those things, the right high-end packages and your signature system and your right pricing model, when you're just getting started, it is totally going to derail you because you don't have enough information yet. If you haven't served these types of clients before, how are you supposed to figure those things out? So the fact that you're confused about all of them is totally normal. In fact, you're not going to be able to figure them out until you start working with clients. So when I say that step number 2 is to figure out what your paid offers are, just start with where you're going to start. I'm going to offer life coaching. People are going to pay me for life coaching. I'm going to offer bookkeeping services, and people are going to pay me to manage their books. Does this make sense? Give me like a little thumbs up or something so I make sure that you're following what we're saying here. You don't have to go to complicated strategies, figure out high-end programs. You don't have to figure out any of that fancy stuff. You've just got to get started with the simple basics. What are people paying you for? Does this make sense? Give me a little thumbs up if you're following. Anybody confused so far? We only got one thumbs up there. Anybody confused? All right, great. So feel free to post questions below. All right, so now you know what kind of business you want. You know what kind of paid offers you want. And I'm gonna just tell you a little bit about my, my personal preference when it comes to creating your first paid offer. And I'm going to talk, I have other videos that talk about this, I should say, but we're going to start with just this. My favorite way to help business owners start online is by offering one-on-one services. So I'm not going to suggest you start with a digital course. I'm not going to suggest that you create maybe downloadable products. I want you to start by offering one-on-one services, doing the thing that you're so excited about. Life coaching, nutrition, bookkeeping, private yoga, long distance Reiki, whatever it happens to be, I want you to choose a one-on-one service. This is my personal preference, okay? Now, I know there are people out there who are selling products through Amazon dropshipping, just not my area of expertise. That is certainly a way to go, but for those of you who feel compelled to offer a service, I want you to start doing it one-on-one, not creating products. Now, I have a whole set of other videos on that, and let me just see. Later, you can look above, there are some links. One of them is called Why I Love Starting a One-on-One Business, and another one is called Bite-Sized Offers. There's a couple on Bite-Sized Offers. Check those out later. But the gist of it is this. If you're going to try, if you have this idea, okay, I just went to life coaching school, I feel really great about life coaching, and I want to help women quit their jobs and do something they love. This feels amazing. I feel totally excited all about it, and I want to get started. And what you're going to do is you're going to start by just finding one person to help. And you could even find this person for free. And you're just going to say, hey, Sally, I know we've talked before, we're good friends, and I know you're thinking about quitting your job. I want to build this business, life coaching women who are wanting to quit their job and do something else. Could we do a couple free sessions together so that I can figure out if I really like it or what my process is? Most likely, if the person is in that particular situation and they are your friend, they'll say yes. And so then you just sort of play. You actually allow yourself to play a little bit. Work with some people, try it out, test this idea, play, and see how it goes. And you're gonna learn something. I don't know what you're gonna learn, so I always tell my clients, I don't know what you're gonna learn, but you're gonna learn something. You're gonna learn that you love it, you're gonna learn that you don't love it, you're gonna learn that when you say this particular phrase, it totally resonates for people, but when you say a different phrase, it totally doesn't resonate. You're gonna start to figure out what to do. And from there, you can then create a paid offer for coaching. And I generally suggest that people start with a bite-sized offer, and you can check out those links above later on Bite-Sized Offers. But now you're getting some traction. So you figured out what business you want to create, you figured out what your paid offer is, and you're starting to really get clear. Now, step number 3 is, oh, okay, actually, I got to finish that thought. I get so excited about this stuff. Okay, so the reason you want to start by offering one-on-one as opposed to doing courses or digital products is because you don't yet know your process. So you're just making it up as you go. Even if you took coach training from a program that has a system that you follow, you're going to put your own spin on it. And you can't figure out your own spin until you work with a ton of one-on-one clients. Now, eventually, you're going to get to the place where you pretty much can know what the client is going to ask before you get on the phone, and that's when you're ready to create a course or program. In fact, my two most popular programs, Make It Work Online and Get Your First 1,000 Subscribers. This is not a pitch for that, but just as a point of reference, both of those programs were created through this process. I served so many clients that I knew what questions they were going to ask before we got on the phone. And that means I could create a program that, in both cases, that covered all of their questions and answered everything they needed to know, so all they had to do was just take action. But you want to wait till you get to that point, and by serving clients one-on-one, you learn all of those things, all the different ways to answer their question, because different things are going to resonate with different people. You're going to learn what your process is, all that kind of stuff. So this is why I love one-on-one. All right, so step number 1, figure out what kind of business you want. Step number 2, figure out what kind of paid offer, and generally I suggest a one-on-one something. Step number 3 is you're going to take your best guess at your target client or your niche. There's also some videos above about niching. I did 2 videos last week or the week before that was on niching. And when you're at the beginning, you're going to take your best guess. So let's say you're a career coach and you want to be a career coach for women who want to quit their jobs. Well, maybe you could say these are corporate women, or maybe they're moms, or maybe they're people who want to stop doing soul-sucking work and want to do something they love. Now here, the key is to get as specific as feels natural and don't force anything too far. So if you want to be a career coach for women, but you're not sure if they want to move into high power positions or something more philanthropic, who knows? Like whatever it is, don't force it. Take the best guess you can and then start working with those people. And those clients that you start working with are going to show you where to go from there. Okay, so you're going to figure out which business you want. You're going to figure out what kind of offer you want to do, which my suggestion is a one-on-one offer. You're going to take your best guess at your target client, and you're not going to niche down any further than feels natural, but you're going to force yourself to take the best guess you possibly can. And then step number 4, this is where it gets scary, is you want to get the word out. You need to start telling people what you're doing. I know, right? So terrifying. You have to tell people what you're doing. Now, you can tell people and offer sessions for free. In fact, this is how I got started way back in 2009 with my business. I was offering sessions for free. I found 10 people and I offered them each 6 sessions for free, and I learned so much, and it built my confidence as a coach tremendously. So do not discount the value of doing sessions for free, especially in this early stage, because the worst thing that happens is they don't like it and don't want to do another session. Whoop-de-doo. It's no big deal. You're going to learn from it anyway. So I have, for those of you who are looking for like I don't know about you, but I love like templates and scripts that I know are going to work, so I can just plug and play and use them. So up above, you'll see a link for our 5 email scripts download. And this is whether you're really experienced or new, but in here, there is an email. I call it in my program, I call it the 100 emails. But it's basically an email script. It tells you how to use it, and there's an email script here that goes on to the next page about how to reach out to people you know, 100 people you know, and tell them what you're up to. And this could be offering free sessions. It could be offering paid sessions. There's room for you to make that decision in there. But go ahead, jennyshih.com/5 scripts, I think it is. You can grab that link. So your next step, this is step number 4, is to start telling people what you're doing and get some free sessions or a few paid sessions in. And if you want to know a little bit more about what sessions to do, go ahead and paid sessions, watch those BSO, check all those BSO links. There's a video and there's a blog post. Okay, so now, just to review the steps, what kind of business you want, what kind of paid offers you want to start with, best guess at your target client, get the word out, and that can be getting free sessions and getting some practice. And then after this, you notice what we have not talked about yet? This is what we're going to talk about now. Websites. So a lot of people think the first thing I need to do is like figure out my branding and work on my high-end website. No, because what happens if you spent $5,000 on a fancy website and you work with 10 clients as a career coach and you realize, oh, actually you don't really like this? Then you would have to go create a whole new website. So I want to save you time and I want to save you money. And so the best way to get started is to just start with people you know for free and make sure you actually like doing this business. And then once you feel like you're on the hot track, like you're on the right direction, then you can start talking about a website. But then again, here's what I want to say. Clear and clean and simple website is so much more important than high-end branding. I have known too many people to go out and spend too much money on websites on a business that wasn't profitable yet. Don't waste your time. It does not matter. You can have a very simple, very clean, very unfancy website and build a successful business, really get things moving off the ground. After you get experience and you serve clients and you figure out what you're all about and you really own that in the online world, then you can create the brand, then you can create the fancy website, then you can invest in all of that. But don't worry about it now. It's so not that important. Okay, so to just do a quick run through, and this would be a great time to post questions, especially if you're watching live. If you're watching the replay, you can post questions at any time. I'll be here to respond. There's two little questions that came up, and I when we put the call out for you to tell me what's on your mind and how I could help, this was one of the big questions, and there were a couple sub questions that I did answer in here, but I want to call out specifically. But if you have other questions for what we talked about today, now would be a great time to do it, simply because these Facebook Lives are about on a 30-second delay, or 3-second, I don't know. They're on some sort of a delay. And so this would be a really good time to post your questions. Okay, so just to review, figure out what kind of business you want. Figure out what paid offers you want to start with. Take your best guess at your target client. Force it as specifically as possible. Don't force it too much. Get the word out. Start with free sessions if you want to. And then create a simple website. And what comes after that, that's the video that I'm going to do on Wednesday. So come back here on Wednesday and we will get that taken care of. Okay, now there's a couple of things that I want to point out here. Somebody was saying, so one of the questions was, when do I worry about legal stuff? Like, I'm just starting, do I need to worry about legal, branding, and pricing? And hopefully this is pretty clear from this video so far. First of all, I am not a lawyer and I'm not equipped or qualified to give legal advice, so that is something you're going to want to talk to an attorney about. But if you're just talking with friends and family for free on the phone, like, I'd be hard pressed to say you need to worry too much about legal stuff. But again, I'm not an attorney. Do you need branding? No. Do you need to figure out your pricing model? No. Just start by doing your work and working with a few people, and then check all the resources for bite-sized offers above. That would be your next step. Okay, the next question is, I want to launch something, but I don't know what. And the answer is, don't worry about launching. Don't worry about launching. You don't have an email list. You don't even know what you're marketing. You don't even know what you're selling. I want you to start by just figuring out what lights a fire in your belly, and go find people who want that and help them out and see what happens. Let this path unfold for you organically. Now, I am a planner of all planners, and what I know is that some of this inspiration, especially when these businesses, like they're ones we want to do from our heart, they cannot be planned. So we've got to start with what we feel most excited about right now. Follow that hot track and go for that. Okay, the last thing is just a word of caution I want to make. Hold on, let me take a sip of my tea here. My last word of caution is, what happens when people are getting started is it is very attractive, very, very attractive. And this isn't just when people are starting, this is experienced people as well. It's very attractive to focus on your website and your branding and your copy and learning about social media and you name it. And what I want to tell you is, if you want to start and grow a successful business, you need to prioritize what I call client getting activities, or the lingo in my program is CGAs. You got to focus on client getting activities, not on what I call web presence. So not on your website, not on your social media, not on learning. Basically, there are two different types of energies for these things. Client getting is going out there and interacting with prospects, and the web presence stuff is you sitting behind your computer separate from people. And of course, if you separate from the people you want to serve, they're not going to know you exist. So you want to make sure that as you do this work and as you think about getting started, you've got to go out there and interact with real live humans who might need help with what you do. And don't get stuck in doing the web presence and the learning activities forever and forever, because you won't build your business that way. All right, so there are a whole bunch of links above for, let's see, what links did I give you? I printed it out so I wouldn't forget. All right, 5 email scripts. So if you want to ask friends and family if they'll be your free client or if they'll be your first paid client, there's grab the 5 scripts that's above. There's also a little bit more details on why I love a one-on-one service-based business. I have a very strong opinion about this, and I have a lot to say about it. So if you have any questions, you can click that link above. There is a video and a blog post on bite-sized offers, so that's my recommendation for your very first paid offer. If you're just getting started, you can learn about that above. And then there's 2 videos I linked above about finding your niche and honing in on it the best you can. There's some pretty powerful insights there, so feel free to look at any of those. And you're always welcome to leave a comment below a video or a blog post. I do answer them myself, sometimes that day, sometimes it takes a couple days, but it is me answering those questions, and I'm here to help. It looks like Miranda has a question. She says, is there a point when you can work with too many clients for free? She's been following, oops, I hit see more to read the whole question. I can't see your whole question. Let me see if I can see it on my computer. Let's see. Nope, I can't see the whole question. But, so Miranda, feel free to repost your question, or I can also get back to it after we close this video and I'll see it. It only shows me 4 lines. So, is there a point when you can work with too many people for free? and she's still refining her process? This is a great question. So it's going to be different for everyone. I think that sometimes people jump to paid offers too soon. Like they need to value their work and get paid for their time, and like this is what they've been told. And if there's a little bit of that like righteous energy, then you're probably maybe doing it a little bit too soon. But if you're asking the question, have I been giving away too many sessions for free? Maybe you have. So you're always going to be refining your process. This is one of the things I talk about with my clients a lot is you're going to start out by taking your best guess. You know, at some point you're going to know, yeah, I'm pretty sure that if we hop on the phone and we talk about XYZ for 90 minutes, they're going to walk away with this problem solved. You're going to know that pretty good. And every time you work with a client, you're going to learn more things. I am still learning from my clients about how to teach and do what I do better and better and better. So don't wait until you've figured it all out and got it nailed down perfect, because you will never get there. So when you get to the point where you're, say, 90% sure that if you hopped on the phone with a target client and they were your perfect client, and you're sure that if you, let me say this again. I want you to get to the point where you're 90% sure that if you hopped on the phone with a target client that you could solve their problem. 90% sure, because 10%, people are people. So if you're 90% sure that you could solve your target client's problem, if they showed up, you are ready to start charging money. All right. And then as you grow and refine your process, you will modify your offer, you will change the pricing, etc. Okay. Hopefully that helps. Looks like Michelle says, I've had experience doing free coaching, and the people don't really step in and do the work. Do you have recommendations on this? So my guess is that there's probably something energetic within you, Michelle. And I don't mean to be nebulous or finger pointy. I'm just trying to be really specific, because I just had this conversation with one of my more experienced clients who just upped her prices in a significant way. She goes, the funny thing happened, Jenny. I just increased my prices and I am getting clients who are not willing to do the work. And so the point of this is, the point of giving you that contrasting example is this problem can happen regardless, and it's all about the coach. So I would just sort of reflect back to you, what are you believing, or what are you doing, or what are you bringing to that client interaction that makes you think because it's free, people won't do the work? Or to my other client, I would say, what are you believing about them having to pay you more money that makes them not want to do the work? Okay, so that's just the introspection question. And then the next follow-up to that is, what do you need to do differently? How do you need to show up as a better leader, as a stronger coach, so that they see what they're responsible for doing? And some of that is setting up the structure of your sessions. So I'll give you this example. In my Make It Work Online program, the very first kickoff call, we talk about the importance of getting what you came for. And those who've been in Make It Work Online know exactly the story I tell. And there's a whole story and there's a whole philosophy behind getting what you came for. But I set the stage up from day one. I am not your mother. I am not here to hold your hand. I am here to support you and to guide you and to push you and to answer every single question you have. But I am not a mind reader. And it is your job to show up and get what you came for. And I can't know what you came for, so you've got to ask for it. And really tell them, like, I make it very clear to my clients, this is my job as your coach, to give you everything you need to succeed in business, to answer every single one of your questions, to support you every step of the way, to always tell you the truth, to be your cheerleader, and to also call you on your BS. But I am not a mind reader. You have to ask the questions. You have to do the work. You have to show up for the coaching calls. You have to do the homework. You have to read the lessons. And we make that really clear. And that really clear, energetic relationship setup then allows clients to succeed. Now, does everyone take it? No, of course. There are some people who love to play the blame game, but for the most part, it works really well. So something for you to think about is how you hold that energy and also what you're believing, because what you believe will manifest in your client relationships. All right, I think that's all the questions we had for today. Fantastic. If you're watching this later or on a replay, you can post the questions below. It'd be my pleasure to answer them. And I'll be back on Wednesday with how to get clients and fill your programs. For those of you who are beyond this entry-level beginner stage, and you know your niche, and you know the work you do, and you've already served clients, and you've got a website, and you've got the basics going on, this is for you. That's what we'll talk about on Wednesday. That class, although I said all these clinics would last about a half an hour, that one's gonna go longer because I have so much to share. So definitely block out extra time on your calendar to watch that, because I think you're gonna like it. All right, have a wonderful rest of your Monday. Thank you for all your questions. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.